Hi everyone, this is Nicole Rivera and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast for writers who are looking for their writing community. I know you want to find readers for your work, but I think your first step is to connect with other writers. That's what we're going to do here in the Stop Writing Alone podcast. We'll do writing prompts and other writing group activities, discover online writing communities, learn how to find local writing groups, or how to make your own. Join us as we explore, learn, and write. Hi, this is Nicole Rivera, and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast. So it's occurred to me that due to my activity in the Stop Writing Alone Happy Campers Club and on YouTube, and even, just doing various Zoom events, I've been doing writing prompt parties and sharing writing prompts really frequently, but it's been a really, really long time since I've shared any writing prompts or writing exercises here on the podcast, which if you've been listening from the beginning, that is something that I was doing fairly frequently early on in the lifeline of the Stop Writing Alone podcast. In fact, early on, I had shared some reusable writing prompts that I had either stumbled upon or created myself. And I made a PDF of 1 week of reusable writing prompts to share with the community. You just had to sign up for the email list and you would get that PDF. Well, for my coffee subscribers, that's that ko-fi.com/stop writing alone, the subscribers received an updated version of the reusable writing prompts, which is 2 weeks worth of writing inspiration to use as many times as you want. And by 2 weeks, I mean 12 different prompts. I figured I would add a day of rest or revision into each week, your choice, what you want to do with it. But I wanted to share with you this week, since it's been so long since we've discussed writing prompts at all here, a couple of reusable writing prompts and or exercises from that PDF, and also make it available to you as well. So in the show description for today's episode, there will be a link where you can sign up for the Stop Writing Alone email list, and what you will get is the 2-page reusable writing prompts. It's 12 different prompts that you can use over and over again. And I just love the flexibility of it, because all of these different exercises can lead you into many different stories, and again, you could do it over and over again. So, just as an example, for one of the older ones that I had shared was the Go for a Walk, which is taken from Natalie Goldberg's Writing Down the Bones. She recommends in her book to go for a walk thinking of a color, and as you walk, just observe as many things as you can with that color. Come home, or doesn't have to be home, but go to your favorite writing spot, sit down and write as you are inspired by that color. And to me, that's a very reusable writing prompt for a ton of different reasons. One, you can think of a different color every time you go for a walk. You can, and every day that you go for a walk, even if you use the same color, you're going to see and notice different things. But also, to take it a step further, it doesn't have to be a color. There's I shared on Sprinkled Inspiration, which if you're not following Sprinkled Inspiration, which is the brainchild of Heather Huffman, you definitely need to get on that. She's on Instagram. She also has an email list where she sends daily prompts, and she has guest prompts every single week. And I was one of the guest prompts, and I shared a scavenger hunt prompt, which was inspired by this type of walk thing and scavenger hunts that I do with my son, where I said, just decide on what I used to do with my son when he was learning his words is we are going to find as many things that begin with the letter fill in the blank, P. And we would go for a walk, and we weren't allowed to come home until we found 5 different things that begin with the letter P. Well, you can do the same thing as a writer. Jot down those 5 things, or what I used to do with my son is we would take a picture of those 5 things, and then you come home and you try to write a story with those 5 things. So this is a way of reusing this walk exercise that Natalie Goldberg gave us, where she told us to use color, but now we use a letter or anything. I mean, anything that you can think of that you could discover on a journey outside. You set out to intentionally seek these things out and then use those as fodder for your writing. Another oldie but goodie is the Magic Realism bot on Twitter. If you haven't checked that out yet, you need to. It's just a Twitter handle, and it's run by a bot, and the tweets are just inspired. They're all different types of, tiny phrases or sentences about strangeness, just strange, inspiring things that many of them sound like a wonderful writing prompt. One of my favorite stories that I wrote came from Magic Realism bot prompt. I was looking for, just scrolling through, and I found one of the tweets said something about a teacher finds a book that whispers to her or something. It was something along those lines, and boom, there I was at it, and I couldn't help but write a story. And again, that's very simply repeatable because every single time you go onto Twitter, there are more and more tweets. But those are some of the old ones. What I want to present to you are some of the newer ones. And again, you can get all of them just by heading into the show notes today. So one of them, and a couple of these are just going to be used like every single day. Things change in our world. So we have an opportunity to enter into the day, look for exactly the same thing we did the day before, but it will be different. One example is those crazy horoscopes that we find in the newspaper, or you can look up online. Perhaps you already have them coming to you every single day for your horoscope. But my prompt is not a horoscope. It's a horror scope. So here's my thinking. Using either newspaper or web search, find the day's horoscopes, select a sign, and using the horoscope prediction as your guide, write the most horrific way a character's day could turn out while remaining true to what the prediction says. How is it repeatable? Change signs. Look up a different horoscope sign, or just change days, or change genres. Maybe don't make it a horoscope. Make it a rom-com, scope, and write a rom-com based on a horoscope. But there's these little points of inspiration that, if you're sitting in writer's block, if you don't know what to do, or if you're just, one of the things about writing prompts for me is not that I feel blocked. I could sit down and I can ideate and I can come up with stories given the time and space. But I find writing prompts fun. I find them really interesting because they make me think about things that I wasn't thinking about. And I end up writing stories that I don't know if I ever would have written had I not been prompted in this way. Also, you could just, for this one, another way to make it repeatable and reusable is use a different type of horoscope. It doesn't have to be the traditional astrology, but what if you look into the Chinese horoscopes based on the different animals, and you look up a horoscope and use that as your inspiration for a story? And again, you can pick a genre. You can just use it as inspiration straight out and say, I'm just going to write a story. But I like, when creating and thinking about writing prompts, I like limiting features. I love the idea of honing in on a genre and limiting yourself in that way, because I think it just makes us, think differently in that space. Another one that could be fun and you don't even have to go outside. You could tell that this one was totally inspired by lockdown. I was like, wait, I can't get out to all these things. And many of these are things that you can do right in your home. I call this one a brand new story. So take a walk around your house, taking note of brand names of products on your shelves, clothing, appliances. Write down 10 to 15 to be a list of words to use in a story. So, I mean, just imagine. I'll look around my room here. I've got my Brother printer. I've got an Apple computer, my Blue Yeti mic. Goodness, I've got IKEA furniture in here. IKEA might not work, but you take all these words and use them as, again, your prompt. Just Brother, Apple, Blue, Yeti. These are all like already there's things happening there. And if you get a good list of 10 to 15, I think you really could have something there. And how is that repeatable? Pick different brands, clearly, or limit yourself to one type of product. Every time I think about this, I think of cleaning products and I'm like, okay, so in my house, that means that I would probably have Mr. Clean and Mrs. Myers. I don't know. I'm seeing a romance. I don't know what's going on there. What are my other? You got Ajax, and it's now perhaps going into mythology. I don't know. I think there's a lot of fun that could be had there. So you could, you could limit it to a type of product, or just look at foods. And make your list and start your story. There's inspiration everywhere. And that's just that one other idea that I had. What day is it is one other, and then I'll just leave the rest for you to go seek out if you are interested, if this is piquing your curiosity. So what day is it? Is inspired by those of you who know me. I don't know if I've shared it here on the podcast, but I have for a number of years now been buying a calendar that says it's every day is a holiday. And part of that is the motivation for me buying that the first time that I bought it. It was absolutely a self-care move. Like I needed every day to be something to celebrate. And the calendar is hilarious and ridiculous because it sometimes picks out the most random things. Here, I'll check to see what Thursday, June 24th is, since that's when this episode will air. Hold on. Okay, so according to my calendar, June 24th is Swim a Lap Day. So it's just great. It's just ridiculous. As a former swimmer, that's a wonderful day. I would love to celebrate Swim a Lap Day. I remember the first time there was that I noticed Eat a Lobster Day. For some reason, my son and I found that hilarious. So I love the idea that there's something to celebrate literally every day of the year. And then what I came to understand the second year that I got this calendar is that there's lots of different things to celebrate every day of the year because the calendar changes. I thought maybe I didn't need to buy a new one, but it was different. So I actually found a website, and you probably know about this. Is a website called checkiday.com. I don't know why it's Check I Day. I really thought I did a typo. I had to check it 3 different times. checkiday.com. If you go to the website, this website curates all of the daily holidays. I don't know if it gets all of them. It's got a lot of them, though. There's a lot for every single day. Anyway, use the celebrations to inspire a story. Either check out this day in history to inspire a bit of historical fiction writing for your day, or select one of the holidays being celebrated on the day you search and write a story of how a character might celebrate the day. I also thought about what if you write about, a silly story about how that day became that day, which could be, historical fiction also. I don't think I need to say this, but how is it repeatable? Every single day has multiple holiday options to choose from, and every day brings a brand new list. You can do this particular prompt every single day of the year if you want to, and you could probably do it multiple years in a row and just get different stories over and over again. So this is an example. I think you can see how you can start to make some of these reusable writing prompts and exercises on your own. But like I said, I have 12 here that I use. I've used all of these at least once, but many of them I have used more than once. Just for fun. Sometimes if I'm looking, if I'm not feeling totally jazzed about any of the things that I have going on. But again, I can think of some stories that I've written that some of my favorite stories that have come from these exercises. The A to Z story, the mimicking an author story, like I told you, the magic realism bot, these, and going for a walk, the scavenger hunts, those ideas, they always inspire me. I love any excuse to get outside, but there's something so wonderful about that, going outside, really being intentional about what you notice and see, and then coming back to write while it is all still fresh is great. And that brand story has the same sort of feel. You just like sort of walk around your house, you see different things, and you have fun with it. So that's all I really wanted to share with you this week. It's just a little bit of inspiration in case you are thinking about, I just want to have some fun with my writing. Sometimes when we get bogged down with our own stuff, my advice is to give yourself, a little brain break, do something different, have some creative fun. And for some of us, that means a different creative venue. I've mentioned before, I love drawing and painting. So occasionally that is what I will do to sort of rev my brain back into creative spirit. But a lot of times it is doing a writing prompt. If I'm getting bogged down by the seriousness of a project that I'm in, or I'm getting to a place where, it's feeling like more work than passion, I give myself a writing prompt break. And I'm getting so many of those now. Like I said, through the YouTube channel, through working with the Happy Campers Club, I'm doing writing prompts on a weekly basis. And so what's happening for me is that I'm not feeling the heaviness of my other projects because I'm constantly getting those wonderful creative breaks on the in-between. So that's why I wanted to make this available to everybody right now in case you are feeling heavy and you need a little break. I wanted to give you plenty of opportunities to get that within writing. Also, I know that July is coming, and for many writers, that means signing up for Camp NaNoWriMo, which is a slightly more liberated form of National Novel Writing Month that happens in November. The difference being in camp, which happens in April and July, is that you get to set your own goal. And so if you are excited about maybe taking on a month-long writing challenge, but you didn't know what project you wanted to take on, maybe a writing prompt will get you started. So head on over to the show notes, sign up for the little email list, and you will get right away the PDF. It's just 2 pages because I didn't want to have you waste a whole bunch of paper if you wanted to print it out. So you can just print out these 12 or just save it on your computer and just look at them. Once you do them, one time or two times each. You won't even have to refer to the PDF. You will remember all of these things, and they will become a part of your creative arsenal. And they're ways to give yourself a little brain break while still getting writing done, while still creating. And I promise you, if you allow for this, you will get some of the coolest, weirdest stories out of your little muse and your writer brain. So enjoy it and have a wonderful week. And if you love doing writing prompts, actually, I did not even plan this. I wasn't thinking ahead on this one. This week is the writing prompt party for the YouTube channel. So also in the show notes is the little link to make sure you sign up for the invite for that. But it's this Friday, June 25th, because it's always the fourth Friday of the month. I record a live Zoom call of us doing a writing prompt together, then reading our stories aloud. And it is wonderful. And like I said, that is the thing that I've been doing on a weekly basis that has kept me going on all of my other writing projects. So join us. And if you don't make it this month, it'll happen again in July. So you can sign up for that to make sure that you get that invite. That is it. Writing prompts. It's all about writing prompts. It's all about getting inspired. It's all about giving your brain whatever it needs to keep moving on the projects that are your have-tos, but also reminding you all of the love that you have for this creative process and all of those things that you're brilliant and you come up with such creative, wonderful creations. So, let that wildness free with a little bit of a writing prompt here and there. Have a wonderful week. Thank you as always for listening, and I will see you again next Thursday. Or no, I won't see you, but we will connect in this way. You will hear me and I will feel you in the woo-woo way. And now it's going crazy. Anyway, have a wonderful week. Thank you. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Stop Writing Alone podcast wherever you're listening to this episode today. Then connect with us on Facebook at Stop Writing Alone Facebook page or in the Stop Writing Alone with Nicole Rivera Facebook group. Check Instagram or Twitter where I'm at NV_Rivera to find links to our email newsletter.